Welcome everybody, welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. Now, today's video, what is a proton? Oh no, not another Nobel Prize, Lindsay. I'm about to explain what a photon is, and I don't think science has explained it properly to anybody. So, I've just done a post on Facebook. I thought, well, it's worth a video, so I'll read you the post I put up on Facebook, and then we'll just go over a few details and draw a few pictures so you understand what I'm talking about. See, understanding the flat earth model, because this channel is all about the flat earth design, all the physics involved. Once you understand the flat earth model, you start to understand all of physics. You can go and check what science knows about it, and then go back to your flat earth design and go, oh, look at me. That's what it is. That's what it means. And you can explain it to people a bit better. Or you certainly understand it a lot better than what these flippin' scientists try to describe in all their jargon. It all comes down to a basic point, a focal point, that you will understand. Way before you try and understand those guys. Get anything out of those guys. But anyway, this is my post. Oh no, not another Nobel Prize, Lindsay. Ho-hum. A photon is the smallest possible vibration of an electromagnetic wave. In other words, it is the focal point in the manifestation of its frequency wave, which is more or less a particle. Particles or waves in brackets. It's the question in science, isn't it? Take our sun, for example. We cannot have an electromagnetic field without first having the ignition at the point of creation. But once ignition back at creation takes place, man's pupil gets to see an image, which is the photon / sun in the electromagnetic wave. More proof that the wandering stars are photons, focal points of the respective energy fields, as secondary to creation, and only seen by man as images due to his black hole pupil receivers of the sent frequency out of the black hole of creation. They are seen as signs, just as the Bible states. This is also an explanation as to why we can never see creation, why it is just a thought and only described in a metaphysical or metaphorical way. To us it comes from nothing, till it is observed as the focal point in the wave. And we as life are also created within the wave / waves, outside of creation. We are in the expressed field of the initial ignition, now observable as the focal points, images, of the resonant frequencies. Just as the sand forms patterns on the plates vibrating to a certain frequency. We all exist as holograms in the atmospheric moisture. We only think everything is physical due to our programming / 5 senses. There's a guy on YouTube or Facebook, I didn't bother searching for it, who's very good at showing us the frequencies in water and the shapes that are forming in water. Like they're almost faces, human faces, when he gets the frequency right. The photon or particle is at the center of this wave pattern. See the photo below. Check out the ancient Egyptian photo. Now you're not going to see this photo, I think. Well, you might. So basically everything exists in a wave. Right, the center of that wave is the photon, is the focal point, its lowest vibrational point. Now, in this picture here, this is an ancient, I don't think you're going to see that, an ancient hieroglyph or painting on the walls in Egypt. I'm not sure if you can see that. But look, where have you seen those? on those resonating, vibrating plates. The sand forms those patterns. They know everything's a wave. So let's explain a few things. Well, I showed you the picture of the wave, so I don't need to draw that now. So everything else, that works on the flat earth design. All the energy comes out of the centre Arctic. It's waveform and wave. Imagine a wave coming all the way up. It only goes so far. A wave doesn't go for infinity. This is why we can only go so far in our realm to the southern perimeter here before the wave collapses. And this is the whole toroidal field of our Earth. It collapses at the end. But then it finds its way back. It's a recycling, returning wave. It's the toroidal field. So this is why they bring you the ball, you see. So the wave can only go so far, but it must be this perimeter that gives us the dual action of the return. I was going to take the mickey out of the globe idea, but I'm coming back to the same sort of thing with this model. But it's due to the mirroring effect of the celestial tropical gap, you see. And science hasn't spoken about this with their spinning ball, so it's not going to work with a spinning ball, because you're not getting this this overall shape of the Earth, where the hyperboloid is like this. So it's being expressed out this way, but you have the dielectric plate where the field comes down, goes like this. So this image we're getting here is parabolically imaged here. What you're seeing there is being parabolically imaged there. It's a mirror effect. All the stars out here are the same stars as what you see around here. We're seeing up through this way, aren't we? So we're seeing it like that. This is why we get the two star rotations, right? You got the celestial tropical gap right here. This is creation here. It's a blown up image of what's going on in here. So I haven't got on the top of my head how to explain that returning magnetic field cycle like this, but it obviously goes so far and then it returns, but it flows out positive. So it flows out positive, then goes negative, then up positive, to go down back into the negative Earth again, and then back up here, where it becomes positive at this point. Well, it's probably becomes positive as soon as it leaves the Earth. It's being drawn up to the sun here, the actual sun and creation. So I've wandered away from my purpose of the video, but anyway, let's try and find our way back. The photon is the focal point in a wave. This is why we see the planets. They're the focal points, because we have to go back to man's arc of horizon and look how it works. We have the moon closest, and look, Saturn. Saturn's not way up there or way out there. It's because, look, it's the furthest away from us when you look at the shape. Right? So you can think of this as layered frequency waves, frequency bands, and you're getting the photon image is the focal point. That focal point comes out of creation. It's an image, it's a sign from dead center in here, where the energy comes out of this place here, and then creation is perpendicular to our physical realm, or 90 degrees. So that becomes this way. You could say it becomes this way, but it's seen this way, vertically. So out here we have Saturn, right? Out here, away from the Sun, Saturn, the weakest field. Right out here, the weakest field. Expanded, the wave is expanded. You've got to take us as the centre point. You could say we're a photon in the centre of our realm. But there has to be a focal point in these gaseous frequency layers. And that's what the photon is. It's the image. It's unseen back in creation. Expressed out. So it's expressed out. And we're in this expressed out field. We are walking in this wave. So man can never leave this cycle, this wave of energy from its centre. We can only go so far and the wave dies. Just like man will die. He can only go so far. It's all based on pressure. This is why we cannot leave our realm. Just like you can't go up too far. You just can't get out, can we? So this is when you start thinking, well, what's our purpose in life? Then you have to go back to my other videos explaining what it's all about. It's about waking up the human brain. And going within, not trying to get out. That's for dummies. You've got to go within. All about the human brain. Look, 2 hemispheres of the human brain. Another tropical gap. This is the northern hemisphere. The centre of your brain. The gap between the 2 hemispheres is here actually. But overall it's there. But break it down. There's your 2 hemispheres. Left and right brain. To do with your thalamus. Your thalamus is the hidden brain. Your second brain or third brain. Third eye. Like the Akasha records are in that thalamus. And this is all exposed for us in the Bosnian pyramid, where they've got that ceramic stone. That ceramic stone is a representation of your thalamus. Believe it or not. And what's carved on the ceramic stone? Exactly what I've been saying in my videos. It's all about we are locked. The gates are shut. We are born into darkness. Our mind is shut. When the gates are opened, then you are free. So when the gates are opened, there's a celestial alignment. That's basically what's written on this stone in ancient European language, and they've deciphered it. It says we're stuck here, the gates are closed, we must fight like warriors till the stargate opens. And the stargate is all about a celestial alignment that I've talked about a lot, but I haven't given the full story because I'm going to put it in a book. So, understanding the meaning to life, okay? Understanding these layers. The moon, the sun and the moon are separated as man and woman are separated in this physical world. We're not one anymore. But back at creation, so there's our black hole. Well, the black hole doesn't go like that. That's what how can we imagine it as in the dual force, the dual world, duality. But in reality, the black hole is like this, flatlined. Everything is in there. Well, where's in there? Exactly. It's a thought, the centre of the mind. We have to go there. This is what meditation is all about. It's not exercising in physical yoga. It's first being using mantra yoga, the vibrations. What is the vibration? The frequency is basically aligning your chakra frequency-wise. Aligning the chakra helps raise the kundalini. So it's the vibration, the om, that sort of thing. Then after you've done 15 of those, not 15,000 like some culture tells you, I think it was Muslims, you have to do 15,000. No, it's 15. Then you sit in deep meditation, go deep, relax, full relaxation into deep, deep meditation to find this deep, dark zone. Place of rest, Okay? And this helps raise this Kundalini. Look at this. What's shaped by that in the human body? Your sacrum. Look, it's the bottom half of Earth. Bottom half of Earth. Your sacrum, there's 8 holes. Those 8 holes represent phases of the moon. You have to know your phase, your sign, your moon sign. Your moon sign will fall in, your moon will fall into a sign in one of the phases. Depends on the phase it's in as to what strength it'll have on you, on what effect it'll have on your body. But you have to find out what your moon sign is. And that's at creation. Your moon sign is at creation. Conception. Nothing to do with your birth. The moon is the mother of creation. You've been created at that point of conception. That means nothing about moon sign. They are birth sign. Birth sign is your sun. When you come into the light of the world, you come into the light of the world. That's your sun. Where's the sun? That's point. That's your sun sign. But more importantly is the moon sign. Understanding a moon sign. Nobody's been told it's at conception. It's pretty tricky to find, but you'll get close enough because usually they're there for about 2.5, 3 days. So if you're close enough, you will sense. Just keep an eye on the monthly signs, and you'll sense where you feel better. What day you'll feel better in the month, as to what sign it is. You'll find it. And then you're going to need to read my book, because that's going to be really buzzy for anybody. Whether you're Christian, anti-Christian, atheist, agnostic, spiritual, in La La Land, whatever, you're all going to want to know. So, the photon. Understanding that, then look, Euclid straight lines. These are straight lines, right? 2 straight lines. Science doesn't know any of this. They're just full of it. They make it all up. That's the truth here. Those are the 2 straight lines. And infinity is going around your dome, your arc of horizon. Okay? These atmospheric layers. Imagine that the highest frequency up here. It's a shorter wave, slightly bigger wave, bigger still wave, and then a bigger wave, and a bigger wave. It's a no-brainer. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury, the Sun at the top. The Sun sits at the top. At least that's Christ at the top. At least science tells us the moon's at the bottom, closest to us. They're right there, separated. You're not seeing through the light spectrum to see the moon, are you? You are with the sun. You're seeing through all these bands to see the bright, pure white light of the sun. Down here, the moon. Remember, the moon and the sun are one. Back at creation, in our physical world, they're separated, male and female. So you have to consider these as one. Start understanding that the moon is like the shadow of the sun. I've done earlier videos on that, but I don't think I explained it very well. I have to go a bit deeper. So Euclid's infinity is around the dome. This angle here, around the dome. He's in the 5th postulate, this angle here. Now what it is? This angle here, this angle equals the opposite angle that came up here. Go check it out anyway. It's not on the top of my head right now. So you've learned a few things today. A little bit more about Euclid. You've learned what a photon is. It's a secondary image. It's a sign. It's the lowest vibrational vibrational density of a wave. Right here. 0 point. 0 point energy. Wave. Wave. Happens there back in creation. Right back in there. But we see the photon, the image, in the expressed hyperboloid realm that we all live in. Out here. Where's the image? Remember, this is not horizontal now. Horizontal in creation. It's this way. Reducing the sun. Get it? It's an image. Man's image, only seen due to his pupils. Like science says, is it a wave or is it a photon? Is it a particle? It's not a particle till we observe it. Well, you need your pupils to observe something. When it comes to the heat of the sun, that's another story. There's no heat coming off that sun. The heat is within the magnetic field, and that's to do with the celestial gap. That's another long story. The heat is within the earth, not comes from without. It's just the focal point, which is, so that's the focal point, attached to the Milky Way, comes out of there. Point of creation, bang, get a photon at the end of the Milky Way. That's what we see. That's our image of the sun. That's the image of the plasma that's created back here. But then you go into metaphysics, because there's nothing there at all. Because look, it's flat line. You don't know. Another deep story. So we've got a bit of Euclid's. We know what a photon is now. We'll have to wait to see if this guy gets a Nobel Prize one day. He never will, because he's a flat earther. And that goes against the grain, goes against all the bullshit. And it's thanks to this YouTube channel. Learned a bit about the sacrum, the moon phase, the moon cycles, the moon, not cycles, signs, the moon signs, very important. Go check out, go find your moon sign. Creation, conception. Okay guys, very informative. You won't find this anywhere else. No way. So put a likes up and share it. Get it out there. Everybody else can start talking about it on their channels. There's plenty of these spiritual channels and similar stuff to this, but they don't know all this stuff. Okay? Likes and subscribe maybe. Might help me get out there a bit more. Thanks for watching.